Hey, what's up? Welcome to the mandatory. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media channels, and you can see in the description below the ways that you can connect with us. Also, just a heads up, if you listen to us on the audio side, we do appreciate you. And if you don't, that's where you can find us as well. You can leave a rate and review, give us a 5-star, because why wouldn't you? And on top of that, we just hit 3,000 subscribers. So for everyone that has liked a video, commented a video, subscribed to the show, we do appreciate you. Exactly. So PBC is having a great card. It's going to go down December 6th at Frostbank Center, which is San Antonio. Massive fight. And very surprising to me that Tank did not want the rematch with Lamont Roach, and he's going the Jake Paul route, but that will make more money. But regardless, Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach, this is going to be a very, very good fight. And the co-main is Erislandy Lara and Janibek, who we're going to talk about the odds in that fight, which is really, really interesting. And then the fight of the night, I think, is Cool Boy Steph and O'Shaquie Foster. That's Stephen Fulton and O'Shaquie Foster. And Abel Ramos Jr. is taking on Mosley Jr. Yeah, Jesus Ramos. Yeah. Is taking on Mosley Jr. And so this is going to be a pay-per-view fight. Are you surprised at that, Brian? That it's a pay-per-view fight?
No, because going back to PBC needing a banger, and also like even despite him, you could say, being exposed on multiple occasions over the last few years, Isaac Cruz still has a large following. I don't know how this is going to perform, but Isaac Cruz still has a large following, and Lamont Roach gained more, obviously, from the Tank fight, because there's not a shortage of people who thought he won that fight. And at the very least, it looked like he should have been credited with a 10-8 round because of the knockdown situation, or the rather Tank taking a knee situation, because of the grease in his eye. And now Tank kind of looks foolish because he's taking the Jake Paul fight, but he's cashing out. And, it is what it is. Like we have thoughts on that. And that's a fight that we're going to be doing a post-fight live for in a couple weeks. So there will be plenty more to talk about that. As far as this card, though, this is to me a really strong main card. Now, there are some titles on the line, some of which has been announced, or much of which has been announced, and I'm going to find it somewhere other than BoxRec, because on BoxRec, they don't recognize the WBA still, which I do think is the funniest thing, but it's also annoying because it's like, hey, we're trying to get a sense of everything, every title that's on the line. And if I can't see that there's a WBA title, I understand your relationship with the brand, but like, come on, like I need to know like what's actually happening here. But there are a bunch of titles in the line. Actually, we can see this here from the PBC website itself. So Isaac Cruz is facing Lamont Roach, obviously in the main event. WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach is moving up to fight for the WBC super lightweight interim title. So Lamont Roach is jumping up another weight class here to 140. Yeah. And honestly, Isaac Cruz is not a real 140 either. So these are just two smaller guys who don't really have to cut. That's how I look at that.
But do you think this is pay-per-view worthy? It's a great card.
Okay. So I understand why it's pay-per-view. I wouldn't make it pay-per-view personally, but
that's what I'm trying to say. Because to us, this is a great card. This is a great card, but to casual fans, like, I don't know how this will perform pay-per-view wise. This should be a free card, in my opinion.
If it's pay-per-view, look, if it was $10-$20, I'd be like, you know what? That might be okay. But
how much is this going to be? Do you know? Do we know the price of how much this will be? Because it should not be $50.
I bet
it should not. It should not be. I bet it's going to be like $49.99.
Right,
but it shouldn't. It
maybe $79.99. I don't know.
No way. Like that's crazy. If it's $79.99, that is pure robbery.
Yeah, it should not be. It should not be that much. But look, man, if pay-per-views were like $10, I think more people would be like, you know what? Fine.
More people would buy them, I think.
Yeah. Lara versus Janibek. Lara, the A side on the PBC website. Yeah. But then again, Lara's been a PBC guy also. So he's got the WBA middleweight title. Janibek has the WBO and IBF. I think I told you already. I think Terrence Crawford's coming to middleweight. That's what this tells me.
Yeah.
Let's unify these two. Let's make it easier because Terrence Crawford fight once a year, and then Crawford will fight maybe the winner of this. And if he doesn't come back until, let's say Terrence Crawford doesn't come back till September of next year, because
Seems more likely, yeah, that he'll
the
come back around then.
annual Terrence Crawford appearance, we still need to find, where is Carlos Adames? we
Yeah.
still haven't seen him since the Hamza Shiraz fight, which he should have won. And despite that, he hasn't fought since. He has to defend his title. I think the winner of this is going to be pushed to fight him next, and
Mm.
Crawford will fight for just all the belts in one shot. I think that's how you do it. Or he maybe just beats one of these two guys and then beats Adames or whoever has the WBC after. I don't know if they're going to want to break it up into two fights, but yeah, I think Crawford's coming to middleweight.
Yeah. Let's stick with, for me, I think Lara can beat Janibek.
Do
I
you
think
want
he
the
can beat,
odds?
which is crazy. Yeah. So Brian was reading the odds, and we took a look at the odds, and Janibek is like a minus 400 something, which I think is so disrespectful to Lara. Lara is older, but Lara, I think, can beat Janibek. I think Janibek has a lot of holes in the way that
He's
he fights.
he's minus 480, Janibek on FanDuel.
I would put money on Lara. I
Lara's
would.
old, and he hasn't, to be fair, he hasn't fought anyone. And I think Janibek is kind of overrated by some of y'all.
Yeah.
And I think middleweight, super welterweight, not super welterweight. I think middleweight and welterweight are just not good right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're usually two of the deeper, better, and more entertaining weight classes. When I was getting into boxing, welterweights and middleweights were always the shit. And even over the last 10 years, like 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago, we had Terrence Crawford, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and many others, Kell Brook, all at the same time. Middleweight's just not that right now. That
Yeah.
being said, 480 is a lot. I'm
Yeah.
I'm tempted to sprinkle on Lara a little bit. Even though he might just be old and washed at this point. He's in his early 40s, but and he hasn't fought any like top flight competition lately. Like Danny
Yeah.
Garcia over the hill, Thomas Lamana, for example, Ramon Alvarez not that long ago. Like he's not fighting the best dudes either. But Janibek struggled with Denzel Bentley, all due respect.
Yeah, he did. But you know what? You just never know, because who the hell, like, in terms of Janibek, it's like he has not fought anybody, and it's
Let's
like,
look.
how old is he? How old is he now? He's got to be a
He's
little bit older now.
early 30s,
Okay, yeah, 32,
sneaky older than people
and
think.
he hasn't fought anybody. Like, there's no solid win on his resume, I think.
His best win is it Denzel Bentley?
I think it might be. I think it might be.
Andre Mikhailovich, probably. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So that's,
Stephen Butler. I mean, we've talked about Stephen Butler up here. His best win is probably actually Vincenzo Gualtieri, because that's who he got the IBF title off of. But
yeah.
Vincenzo is not like, he wasn't a fucking world beater before that either.
No.
Hassan N'Dam was old. Rob Brandt was older. Like, it's just meh. And then you look at Lara's more recent fights.
Lara's got people on
I
his
mean,
resume, man. I mean, yeah, there's some L's on there, but I think Lara still can surprise some people because he is very skilled.
Danny Garcia, Michael Zarafa. I mean, shit,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Zarafa is better than a lot of the names on Janibek's resume. Gary O'Sullivan, we follow each other on Twitter. Salute. Thomas Lamana, Greg Vendetti, Ramon Alvarez. Like, kind of similarly,
Yeah.
over the last few years, but Lara's got more of a body of work prior. It's just a matter of how much older is he now. And I'll say this about Lara too: it ain't taken a lot of wear and tear from his recent fights either. Like,
Nah.
he's been coasting and finishing people too. So
Yeah. So it's,
I don't know.
it's interesting. I don't have much to say about that other than I think Lara is a little bit disrespected in this fight. And if you're just talking about possible upsets, I think Lara could, but I think this is a very prove it fight for a guy like Janibek. He has to prove it that he can be that guy, and he is that guy, because so much hype around him for so long. This is a perfect chance for him to prove it. And if you are going through what Brian's route might be for Bud, one of these guys could be fighting Bud in the future if he goes to middleweight. So drop your comments. Let us know what you think about this fight. The next fight that I'm really excited for is Stephen Fulton and O'Shaquie Foster. I'm not going to lie to you, Brian. I don't know who's going to win this fight. This is going to be a very, very good fight, very competitive fight.
Neither does Vegas. Because if you look, O'Shaquie Foster's minus 130 and slightly the favorite against Stephen Fulton. This surprised me, Shantelle. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I saw O'Shaquie Foster was favored, and I'm like, really?
Well,
Really, FanDuel?
Well, he's got a title, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's defending.
Yeah.
He's defending his WBC title. So Stephen Fulton's coming up in weight, which I guess is, that's
And he
sort of the
said he felt
key
more
thing here.
comfortable coming up in weight too. So maybe he'll feel even more comfortable now.
I love this fight so much. I fully agree. This is the fight on the card for nerds like us.
Yeah.
I love Cruz versus Roach too. I just also think that should be at 135. But this is the most 50-50 fight on the card, it appears. Stephen Fulton looked like he was about to fall off, and then came right back with an impressive victory in his last fight. Like, it looked really good. And then O'Shaquie Foster, it got dicey there against Abraham Nova at one point, and then obviously he got robbed in his title defense against Conceição, and then had to get that back. But O'Shaquie Foster is tough, one of the more underrated guys. We've talked about him extensively here. I think you're gonna go with Fulton eventually. I don't know if you can quit Stephen Fulton at this point.
Yeah, I always choose Cool Boy Steph, but O'Shaquie Foster is such a tough fighter, and I think he's been overlooked a lot throughout his career, and I think he's proved a lot of people wrong so far. If O'Shaquie Foster hasn't proved you wrong yet, I think this is a fight he can beat Stephen Fulton as well. I mean, this is O'Shaquie's weight class. Cool Boy is coming up, right? And as talented as Cool Boy is, I still think that he still has something to prove, because in the biggest fight of his career, he got absolutely dominated. Of course, that was against one of the best boxers in the world in Iowa Inoue, and that was at a different weight class. But Fulton has said that he feels better in this weight class. And I don't know who I'm going to go for in this fight. They're both very skilled, and I think that's the thing. It's like, what fight style are you going to go for? I think O'Shaquie does make mistakes at times, but he's a really, really good fighter. Can Cool Boy Steph, who, by the way, gets hit a lot at the same time. Cool Boy gets hit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How is this fight going to go? I don't know. I can see why O'Shaquie is the favorite in this one, Brian.
I think it's the weight. And I also think he should have a size advantage. This is a more natural weight class for him.
This is the best one. Yeah, he's Foster is just outside from Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And so so Foxy says, isn't Foster from Texas as well? So should have the home support. Yes. And Cool Boy Steph from Philly, by the way.
Foster also has a slight height and reach advantage. I think 2 inches for both, which is going to be useful because Stephen Fulton obviously likes to box and use his range when he can. He's coming off that win against Brandon Figueroa. So that was one going into it where, because there were questions about their first fight years ago. And it was like, okay, can Stephen Fulton legitimately, and he went in there. I think that was Tim's fight where he had the Tims, and he, after looking rough against Inoue and then looking rough against Carlos Castro, it was like, okay, is he even going to beat Brandon Figueroa? And now Brandon Figueroa looked like shit in that fight. And still looks like he might get a world title shot soon.
I think I think he's really overrated, but I think people enjoy Heartbreak Kid's like fight style in terms of Brandon Figueroa, because like he's gonna come forward, he gets hit a lot, but there's a lot of work rate there. But this is not about Brandon Figueroa. But yeah, go on, Brian.
Yeah, to me, so Mark in the comments says, don't bet on Fulton. Just straight up, like, just don't do it. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I'm kind of with Vegas here, where I feel like this might be O'Shaquie or nothing. Like, what would I have to see in rewatching maybe Fulton versus Figueroa, in rewatching, whatever, what would I have to see that would make me be super confident in backing Stephen Fulton here? I'm not sure. And with Oshaki Foster, he does make mistakes too. I guess that's the one thing.
Yeah.
Both of them do, which is what makes this interesting. Like both of these guys are super talented, can box really, really well, but also can get hit. Like
Yeah.
Conceição frustrated. Oshaki Foster, shit, Abraham Nova did. And Abraham Nova's like, I know people look at him as kind of a punchline, you know, with the whole mascot and shit, but he's a real dude. Like he's a real, he's a real tough out who has been in bigger fights before. Osaki Foster hasn't fought in a longer time too, so this is a year plus layoff for him. So that's a
Hmm.
little concerning as well. This honestly, this might be a fight I just enjoy and don't bet at all. I might
Yeah.
just watch this and just
I don't know how to
whoever
bet
wins
on this
wins.
fight because I don't
Yeah,
know what type of cool boy Steph we're gonna get. It's been a minute since Oshaki's fought, so that's another thing too, like the layoff. That's why I think this is going to be a really, really good fight. It's going to be very entertaining. I think both guys are going to put on a good show. You're going to see the skill. You're going to see the speed. You're going to see them get hit a lot, both of them. I think the guys are going to put on a really good show. But nonetheless, let us know how you're going to be betting on Cool Boy Steph and Oshaki Foster. Bryan, any other thoughts before we move on to the heavyweight conversation?
just a couple minutes on Jesus Ramos and the unpictured Shane Mosley Jr. If you're
Why isn't
looking
his
at the
picture on
screen,
there?
they don't have a picture of Shane Mosley
Yikes.
Jr., which is, you know, come on, like at least be funny and put a picture of his pops. Shane Mosley Jr. is on a little bit of a run. I don't think he's going to win this fight because I think Jesus Ramos probably should be undefeated because kind of low-key got robbed against Erickson Lubin, who's about to fight Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah.
But Shane Mosley Jr., 22 and 4 with 12 knockouts. He's better than his record suggests. We haven't seen him in a while is the problem. This is why I think he's going to lose this fight too. Year and a half ago, he beat Danny Jacobs. Danny
Yeah.
Jacobs over the hill, Danny Jacobs, but that's a win on his resume. There was Joshua Conley and then Demetrius Ballard. That was actually like a legit impressive performance from Shane Mosley Jr. So he's on a bit of a run. The Gabe Rosado fight was here as well. The Jason Quigley one, I honestly could have been a draw from what I remember. So like he's actually built up a pretty decent resume going into this. One where I feel like he's earned this shot. This is for an interim title, also WBC interim middleweight title. That kind of throws a monkey wrench into the whole. I mean, maybe this is who fights Carlos Adames, right? Like maybe this is it. Like this is going to be the interim champion. This guy fights Carlos Adames, and then whatever. But it's going to be real interesting. And with Jesus Ramos, I mean, he was kind of a weight bully at 154, so maybe this is a more natural weight class for him. Jason Rosario knockout earlier this year was a good
Yeah.
one. Yohan Gonzalez, we talked about the Lubin robbery. He beat the shit out of my guy Joey Spencer. Looked bad. Like you saw the weight difference there. Like he looked like a damn freaking light heavyweight in that fight, at least. Joey Spencer did not. So I think this is a kind of a showcase for Ramos, maybe. But if he's not careful, like Shane Mosley Jr. has a 77-inch reach. There's a big reach advantage in this fight, 5 inches. Ramos is going to try to hit him on the inside, hit him to the body. We'll see how Mosley stands up to it.
Yeah, and Jesus has power. Jesus Ramos has some pop. And he's super, super talented. I think he wins this fight against Shane Mosley Jr., but I think Shane Mosley Jr. Will, be a tough fight for him. And we're going to learn a lot about Jesus Ramos in this fight. This is this could be a fight for Jesus Ramos on a card like this where he could gain more notoriety, I feel like. Because Jesus Ramos is super talented. And I thought he'd be further along in his career by now, Bryan.
I agree. I agree with that 1000%.
I thought he'd be a bigger name by now. But at the same time, this could be a great showcase for him against Shane Mosley Jr. I'm not counting Shane Mosley Jr. out. I just think talent-wise, skill-wise, that I would give that to Jesus Ramos. So, that's going to start off the fights on, I guess, the main card. There will also be an undercard.
Yeah,
the
they haven't
prelims.
announced that yet. I mean,
so
like they'll probably throw like I'd be stunned if Carmel Moulton isn't in this fight, for example. Like,
yeah,
isn't in this card. I mean, like they're gonna throw some of their dudes in there. Yeah, they'll throw some people in there. We'll probably be hearing about that soon. By the way, odds wise, Ramos is minus 1450. Shane
oh my
Mosley Jr.
goodness,
plus 650. I get it. I ain't
Yeah.
betting this one either, probably.
Yeah,
If
no,
it's
unless you're
Shane
doing like a
Mosley or nothing.
parlay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're doing like a parlay and you got like, 4 fights on there, 4 or 5 fights on there, then maybe there's a little bit of value there, but no value for that, guys. So let us know what you think about the card for Lamont Roach and Isaac Cruz. That's going to be going down December 6th. It is a pay-per-view fight. And hopefully we'll be doing a post-fight show, Ryan, December 6th.
Last thing, because we technically didn't say who we thought would win in the main event. We should probably do
Lamont
that.
Roach.
You're going with Roach over. I think I have too.
Yeah. I think skill-wise, what we saw against Tank and Pitbull Cruz can just be so one-dimensional. I know a lot of people are fans of Pitbull Cruz, and I'm a fan of Pitbull Cruz, but I think Lamont Roach is the better boxer. So I'm gonna roll with Roach to get the win by decision in that fight.
I'm probably Roach. It might be Roach, Lara, Foster, Ramos for me, but
Yeah.
I'm only really confident. I'm only really confident in Ramos and maybe Lara. Maybe Lara. I don't know about that yet. But I got to
Yeah,
do some rewatching first, and we have a month, so we'll make formal decisions in a month.
exactly. Drop your comments on who you think is going to win those fights. And by the way, if you like the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media channels.